Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy and to part 2 of making the cover. First, though, I have something else I need to take care of. In part 1 of making the cover, I left a secret message that flashed across the screen. And I was celebrating because I recently passed over 600 subscribers. And I had decided that I would do a drawing and have 6 goodie bags to give away from that drawing from the people who commented on that post. Well, I had exactly 6 people comment on that post. So, Kathleen Mower, Pam James, Peggy Leniger, P. Journeys, Carol Wheeler, and Cindy Art Studio. If you would look in the description box and contact me through one of the ways that are listed there, I need your address so I can send you a goodie bag celebrating my over 600 subscribers. Now, let's get to the journal. Welcome to midway through putting the cover together because I forgot to turn the camera on. So here's my cover. I will explain how I made it. I have partially glued on just under the centers of this doily around the whole cover. And since I already put the glue on this, I'm going to go ahead and put it down real quick. And then I will backpedal and show you how I've made the cover. Okay, so this is dry. The way that I made this cover is pretty much the way I make most of my covers. I have a box. This one happens to be a cracker box, and that is what determines my size. I have just cut off the ends here and cut off all the flaps until I had just a flat piece with the 2 folds for the side of the box. Then I glue a piece of felt, just plain old felt, like you get the 9x12 pieces of felt for like 75 cents. I glue that to the back of the box because I like the way it makes the cover feel. Whether I am putting fabric over it or just paper over it, or if I am putting, in this case, a gift bag that I've cut apart over it. I just like the way that it feels. It's still a hard cover, but it's just got a different, not squishiness, but a little bit of give on it that I don't know, I just like the feel of it. So I put the felt on. Then I cut my gift bag to about, I think I go about 1.5 inches around on it, and I glue it down. And I just glue it straight down to the felt. Then I cut off an angle about 1/4 inch out from this corner. I cut off an angle from corner to corner, and then I fold all of those pieces in. And I will make another video on how I do that, since I forgot to include that in this making of the cover. Then on the other side, I have taken this batik fabric that I really, really, really like. Okay, you can probably see maybe. That's how far in that gift bag goes. And I glue it so that it's actually very well adhered. There's not a chance really of it coming apart. I took this batik fabric and I took my pinking shears and I cut it just slightly larger. Matter of fact, I think I glued it on. I think I cut a piece bigger and glued it on. And then I took my pinking shears and went around it, the edge, just so that you can see it around, peeking out. It's not a major part, but there's not really any major parts of a journal. It's all the little parts together, I think, that add up to making it beautiful. I've got a Fabri-Tac cobweb right here that's bothering me. There we go. All right, this doily is glued just in the centers here because I like it to have a little bit of flop. I don't know. Again, I just like a little movement. I like the way it feels. I will probably glue it down just a little bit more after I get everything all figured out that I want to do on the cover. I do know I am going to bring this over so that that is centered in the back of the cover. Then I have this piece of bark from a tree that I found when I was outside, so it was free. I have this fern. I peeled the plastic part. Let me go get one. This is just one of those cheap ferns. You can even get these at Dollar Tree, and all I did was peel the plastic spine off. And when you do that, it's a lot more mobile, and you can use it in lots of different ways. I have one that is glued on the back of this tag here, and I don't know, I like using them, and so I do. But I just peel that spine off, and I do that with flowers too. And then I also have these little artificial leaves. They're from Dollar Tree. I peeled all the stems off the back of them too. And I took ink, and I think that it was my Gathered Twigs ink, and I just rubbed it all over the leaf to give it some age, to give it a little bit more realism. And that is back there, and I just glued this on with Fabri-Tac. Now, the next step will be my little cameo that I made to go right here. But first, I want to finish the first part of the cover. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to add some gold to it, since the name of this journal is Autumn Gold. So let me get my splash paper out, and then we will move on. All right, so I am just using this piece of parchment paper to kind of contain any errant splashes that might happen, because I am going to use my Distress Mica stain, but I am not going to spray it, so I did not feel like I needed to get the splat box out. I am going to, however, do this. I'm just going to take the tube out, and I'm just going to do this because I don't want a lot, but I do want some. And see, I'm getting a little bit of splatter over there, but it's not going all over the place like the spray would. And it all just depends on how heavy you want your splatters to be. If you want a finer mist, go for a finer mist and use a splat box. I'm not going for that this time, so I'm not going to worry about that splat box. Okay, that seems like it took forever to dry. Matter of fact, I went in with a Kleenex and kind of dabbed up some of the spots that weren't drying. I heated up lunch, I ate it, I did a couple of other things, and it was still not dry. So I still have a couple of spots that look a little extra shiny, like they're probably still damp. I hit those with the napkin or the Kleenex. Here we go, and we're just gonna work with it. So the next thing I want to do, I have some pieces of washi that I want to add to the cover, and I have my glue stick right here, and I am going to pick. I went ahead and went from where it repeated on this. This was actually a long repeat. I tore off part of it that I knew I wouldn't be using. And I want to figure out, I think, I want to put it right about here. And part of it's going to tuck up under that leaf, and part of it's going to be up under the doily. I'm thinking probably right here between these mushrooms. So I'm just going to tear it. Sorry, I was getting really close to myself because I was trying to see it. All right, and I'm going to add some glue to the back of it just because I want to make sure that it sticks well and for a long time. See, and the first thing I want to do is align it where I want it to be. So I think I want it to be right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the middle of it down, but I'm not going to try putting the ends down just yet. I want to make sure that I am working with that bend right there of the cover and not against it. Then I can go ahead and just smooth that under there, and see that drop wasn't dry yet, but it's okay. It doesn't look bad. And then do the same thing on this end. Carefully tucking it up under there because I have got glue there. There we go. And I have another washi here that I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put it right across here. And I'm just going to tear off a length of it. I know I'm not going to use all of it. And I think it's going to go across there and under there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued too. I don't have to glue all the way to the end of it. I'm just going to glue enough that it reaches as far as I need it to over here. For this one, since I'm wanting it to go up under this, I'm going to do that first so I can see just how far up I can go. And I can go to right about there, and that's right about where I wanted it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Push it down really well. And then I'm going to just take it off right there at the end. And burnish that down with my fingernail, because I have a fingernail, but I also have a bone folder I could use. There we go, and I like that. All right, now let's go ahead and get to the part that you have been waiting for. Last week we started to make a framed piece in part 1, and it sat. I went out on vacation over the weekend, and so it sat from Thursday when I made that until I got back on Sunday. And it was dry, it was nice and clear, and had a big fly stuck in the middle of it. I didn't want that in my journal, so I had to take it all apart, which thankfully wasn't that hard to do. And I was able to save the leaves that I used, but the littler gems, I just couldn't get anything off of them, and they just looked awful. They looked good until I tried taking it apart, and then they had stuff all over them that I couldn't get off. So I took everything out. I scraped stuff, all of the inside out of the frame. I reused the same frame, and I put it onto a piece of packing tape, so I would still have the clear back, and trimmed around it just like I did before. I will have the previous video linked below so you can see what I'm talking about. And I got this, and it's nice and clear. I'll put it on a piece of paper, white paper, except I've got little blue splotches here, and that maybe it is from the adhesive that was on there, because the other one had blue splotches too. It had a lot of blue splotches. This still had just a little bit, but it's dry. I think it looks beautiful. And I am going to go ahead and place it on the journal right, let's see, I was going to do it right on top of that and up next to that. Right there, and I still frame that flower in the center. And I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac, and I'm not, actually it dries clear, so I could just glue the whole thing. I don't think I'm going to. If I see that I'm having a problem with it not wanting to stay on, then I will come back and re-glue it. Because if it's not wanting to stay on, obviously I can take it off, right? So right now I'm just putting the glue in the frame. Not really worried about if it goes across though, if I get any out, because like I said, it glues clear. I really like that frame though. I think that maybe that might be something. I'm going to try it again with like dimensional stickers. Thickers, I think, is a brand name, but you know, the thick cardstock stickers, because you could use those little O's and make a little frame. Or you could get house numbers like this. Or you could cut a frame if you have an oval or a square or whatever die cutting set. Yeah, that works. That works really well. I like it. I feel like I need something right there, just kind of for balance, because for some reason that just seems off balance to me. Let's see, what could I use? What could I use? I have this little box of goodies. I probably don't need that splat paper anymore. I'll just go ahead and take it out of the way. Do I have anything? I don't know. No, that doesn't work for me. Let's see my other goodies and stuff. No, that doesn't do it either. Let's see. I don't know, is that too bright? I wonder if I could just knock that color back a little bit. No. Okay, I may just have to give that a while to think about it. I do know that I want to also add this to the spine. It's one of those little, I don't know what it's called, a door knocker type thing, but it works like a brad, but it's got the hoop on it. And I am going to go ahead and punch a hole for that because I'm going to have a tassel and I want to be able to have a place to attach it. So I'm going to find the center, which is right about there. And I'm going to go in, whoops, with the wrong end. I may have to get the big bite out. No, I think that'll work. I'm trying to dodge the doily. There we go. Just put that in through there. I'm wanting to make sure that that hangs down straight and not sideways. I'll turn this over. And that will be covered up, because I will have this glued over, but I will also have my signatures sewn in there. All right, what else? Am I done? Am I done? I still have to make the tassel. I don't know that I need to add anything to that. I think my washi tape might be crooked, but I don't think I can pull it up because I glued it down. So it'll just have to be okay. All right, so there's the making of the cover. And Kathleen Mower, Pam James, Peggy Leniger, P. Journeys, Carol Walker, and Cindy Art Studio. Make sure that you send me a message through one of the ways listed below with your address so I can mail your goodie bags out. Thank you for celebrating 600 subscribers with me. I really appreciate it. Just remember, be kind. Always. Bye.